A framework of a future deal. This is what Trump has been saying about Greenland and what they agreed to at Davos with NATO and Europe leaders. So, what does that actually mean? Of course, he didn't give any details about it. He just said this solution, if consummated, will be a great one for the United States of America and all NATO nations. When asked for details, Denmark and Greenland said, "We are willing to negotiate on almost everything: political, security, investments, economy. We will not negotiate on our sovereignty." One of the ideas that had been floated behind the scenes apparently was a Cyprus situation. There are actually two, Cyprus is independent, but there are two areas on Cyprus that are under British sovereignty. Two areas, Akrotiri and Dakali, I believe, and they have been under British sovereignty on the island of Cyprus. And so that was a potential discussion in the background, or somebody kind of whispered it as like, "Hey, maybe we could try this." It's probably Kushner and someone else, who knows. And the Danes said, "No, we're not going to do that. It's never going to be about our sovereignty. You're not going to have any of our land." Of course, one of the reasons or excuses that Trump was saying that he wanted Greenland was for security against Russia and China, even though several defense officials have said we have no indication that Russia or China is moving in any way towards taking Greenland. Again, we already have troops. The U.S. already has troops about between 100 and 200 on Greenland at Piftuk, which used to be Thule. It's a space base, and they have an agreement with Greenland where they can bring in as many troops as they want into that space. They've already started to expand the runway. So this whole thing about security kind of fell apart when anybody started to look at it, and it was pretty clear that Trump didn't know what he was talking about, or it was just an excuse so that he could roll in, take over Greenland, which Russia has been all about and supportive. If you've looked at any of the Russian government papers, and he could use that for his own benefit, like rare earth minerals, and also potentially a safe haven for billionaires as they build out these little resort cities like in Honduras. One of the other things that Europe has proposed is Arctic Sentry, which is kind of like Baltic Sentry. If you don't remember, there was a space where critical undersea cables were severed, and we in Europe increased surveillance of ships in the Baltic Sea. So that could be an option as well, in addition to troops. The NATO Secretary General said one of the things they would try to do is basically increase security pretty fast in 2026, maybe early 2026. And we've already seen that start to happen with a number of countries sending troops. But I'm not really sure if it's security against Russia and China. I think it is security against Trump, is what it is. So this was something that was already happening because of his shenanigans and his bullshit. And so I think NATO is just going to continue with that. They are going to continue to plus up. I don't know to what regard, but continue to plus up deployments into Greenland along with Denmark to basically prevent Trump from, you know, doing his Greenland fetish thing and reaching out and taking things that aren't his, like a toddler. So, what did Trump get out of all of this? I don't know if he got some kind of monetary benefit in the background potentially, but this really was a situation where we've seen a break with NATO over this. The fact that we're even having this discussion and Davos wasn't about Ukraine and pushing against Russia, absolute bullshit. So this dominated things, and this, sudden deal, and Trump realizing that he wasn't going to get what he wanted, so he dropped tariffs, he dropped the threat of military aggression. My opinion is that because the billionaires got to him and the defense contractors got to him and said, "Do you have any idea what kind of market we have in Europe and NATO, and what you're going to do to us if they, do this anti-coercion instrument and lock us out of a market of 450 million people, and basically you take back our bases, and remove our power projection and remove a giant market for our defense contractors." So I think that's what happened is somebody got to him and said, "You're fucking it up and you're messing with business." And so now he's pulled back, but he's going to pull it on the guise of it's going to be such a safer place, in Greenland. It's all because of me. and it'll be great. And there wasn't really any threat there at all. He was basically just doing this for some attention, and then of course to distract from the Epstein files, which we need more of that, and we need that to be the push. So keep talking about the Epstein files until we get resolution. Okay, thanks.